Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos, and now CirclingSpace.com. So I actually use my tattoos. I'm wearing my root chakra tattoos right now. There's a lot going on in the world. I want to feel grounded and safe. So I continue to wear them as I expand into my upper chakras more and more. I want the heck grounding. And I also circle pretty much every day. I usually get in 5 to 7 circles per week. So I have created these products for you, but also for myself. So you can share them with me if you'd like at ChakraBoosters.com and CirclingSpace.com. Today, we're going to look at how to balance an overactive throat chakra. Now stick around to the end because I have a meditation. Even if you have an underactive throat chakra, this meditation will balance either way. It's super cool. It's one of my favorite meditations of all time. It's up there with Ho'oponopono and Hakalau, which are magical meditations. So I'll leave a link for my Ho'oponopono below. And I don't have a Hakalau meditation yet, but I probably should, so I'll work on that one. But today we're going to do a throat chakra balancing meditation at the end of this. So stick around for that. And if you have an overactive throat chakra or any of your chakras are overactive, this is going to give you a lot of information in general how to deal with an overactive chakra. And then it's also going to give you a lot of specific, 3 very specific tips on how to work with an overactive throat chakra. Because we are in a universal 5-year numerologically this year, 2021. 2 + 2 + 1 is 5. So we're going through a lot of expression stuff. In fact, it's pretty symbolically fitting, isn't it, that we're all wearing masks and that we're being told we can take off our mask, put our mask back on, take off our mask, put our mask back on. It's very much a symbol of the throat chakra, right? Speaking and not speaking. And this idea of expression or being totally here, full face form, or a little bit hidden. So anyway, this is the year for us to work with our throat chakra for sure. So let me see what all I want to share with you. First of all, I want to thank the viewer who requested a video on overactive throat chakra. I cannot find your reply. I'm so sorry. I believe it was a female viewer, and I'm very appreciative. I can't find your reply because I have over 400 videos, and there are tons of replies on every question and comments on every video. So once I respond, it kind of gets lost out into the cyber world. So thank you. You know who you are, and thank you for bringing this up. And those of you who have other comments that you want me to respond to, I'm going to do more and more responding via video to your comments. So please ask away. Let's talk about how you balance an overactive chakra in general. And we need to start first with the obvious question of what does it mean to be overactive? Because I've noticed that a lot of times when people are labeling a chakra overactive, it's not. The first thing to remember is that an overactive chakra is a relative term to the rest of your chakras. The rest of your chakras, no one else's chakras. So if all of my chakras, if I take, for instance, a test and all of my chakras are overactive according to this test, and I'll leave a link for a good chakra test below. If all of them are overactive, then none of them are overactive. Does that make sense? If all of them are, because the test has this scoring result, and it's going to say above a certain score that it's an overactive chakra. But if all of your chakras are in that high zone, it means you are super amped energetically. It's a totally wonderful thing. It's only when relatively one or two, a few chakras are way out of balance with the rest of the chakras that you can call it overactive. So if you have low, low, low chakras, and then you have one that's really high, that one could be called overactive, okay? So I really want to be clear about that. And the best way to find out if you have an overactive chakra is first to make sure you are looking at the relative field of all your chakras, right? If almost all of them are up in that area, it's better to talk about the one weaker chakra. Okay, and I'm going to get to that in a minute because we want to focus on the weaker rather than the overactive chakras anyway, because that'll give us a positive focus and will cause us to up the energy. And we always want to be upping the energy in this day and age for many reasons. And I'll get to that in just a moment. So you want to make sure you're looking at the relativity of your chakras, and also you want to make sure that you use more than one method. That really helps. And again, I said I'd leave a good test. There's only one that I know of in the whole world. I don't promote it. I don't get paid for anything for it. The person who does it doesn't ask for anything, doesn't market, doesn't sell you anything. So it's just a really honest, good test with lots of questions, and it's still pretty fast. So I'll leave that. Then another option would be to go and watch my videos for signs a particular chakra is overactive. You can look for that. I'll leave that playlist for all the signs of all the chakras that they're overactive. So even just doing the test and my indicators, you should have a good overlap. And if you don't have an overlap, go to a third technique. Have an energy healer check for you. Use some sort of pendulum, and it's best to have someone else do it over your body and just see if you get a lot of rotation with the pendulum or it's very inactive above your chakra points. Now you want to lay down, and if you have my book, The Key to the Chakras, there's a chapter there that deals with this kind of thing, and it shows you how to work with the pendulum. Okay, but it's, just not more than a couple inches off the body, and you just hold very still and just watch how it rotates and whether it's really big in relation to the other chakras or not so much. But those are the things I want you to look for. Relativity to the rest of your chakras and using more than one technique. 2 if they overlap really well. If they seem contradictory, go to a third to be the tiebreaker. Okay? So once you've identified whether you have an overactive chakra, never just assume or believe you do by one method or one person. Now what you want to do is boost. The first thing you want to do is boost the neighboring chakras. And I have another video on this. I'll leave the link down. I believe it's titled How to Balance Overactive Chakras. And what it's about is that energy is not easy to come by, especially these days, especially right now with COVID, a lot of illness, a lot of fear, a lot of negativity, a lot of stuckness is keeping us in a lower resonance. And yet at the same time, the earth is moving into places in the cosmos that are giving us boosts of starlight energy. And many people are calling it the quickening, like times are moving faster and energy is going up. So this is a good thing that energy is going up, but I find that physically our bodies are being left behind because of all that's going on in the planet, but also because we tend to eat a lot of artificial things. And there's a lot of junk in our food now. You can barely call some of it food. It's manufactured. It's filled with stuff that give it long shelf life when food shouldn't have shelf life. It should just move through the body. So for this reason, I don't like in general for you to make an effort to reduce a chakra. And the other reason is because trauma reduces chakra strength. We come into this world as a pretty bright light, especially in like the expressive chakras like the throat. And then we're often told as children not to speak, to be seen but not heard, or maybe not even seen. But these kinds of things create trauma. And this is what blocks chakras in the first place. So once in a while, if you're actually trying to reduce a chakra, you might re-trigger trauma. You might actually give your body the message, or even your soul the message, that you're working against it. And I wouldn't want that. So my big first suggestion is always try to boost the neighboring chakras. And if you have one and only chakra that's overactive, slowly work your way to all the other chakras and boost those. Because boosting is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And reducing, in my opinion, needs to be done very carefully. And I'm about to give you 3 really good ways that I think are super safe ways to reduce your throat chakra if it's overactive. Okay, so I'm telling you, generally, you want to boost the other chakras, but if you're going to work on reduction directly, which can be very good, make sure you have very mindful techniques that you are in great support of yourself. You're not judging, you're not pushing, you're not being the mean coach, okay? No mean coaching here. You're being just really playful, loving, and let's do this, let's try this. And here are now, one other thing I wanted to mention was neighboring chakras. People often ask me, what is the neighboring chakra for the crown or the root? Well, for the root is very embodied. So the root's neighbors are, think of it like the chakras just going in a full circle, like my beautiful Chakra Boosters symbol. The root is then, the neighbors are the crown and the sacral. Okay, the sacral is the flow to the earth of the root, and the crown is the upper spiritual connection to the physicality of the root. I hope that made sense. Just replay that if you're not sure about that, because it's pretty cool. But that's for the root. For the crown, there is only one neighbor, the root. Only one neighbor, the root. And here's why. Because as we go up in the chakras, the third eye and the crown are so similar. The third eye is your higher self. The crown is the God connection. It's the connection to everything in the universe. But your third eye is your higher self, which is a part of the God, just right in the God universe, right? So they're so similar, and they're so both about spiritual connection that you cannot use the neighboring chakras up there. You can't say, when you're in the fifth, you can kind of say sixth and fourth. You can say third eye and heart around the throat, right? Third eye and heart. But once you get past the throat, you can't really say for the third eye that it's crown and throat. It's easier to say it is throat and root, because the third eye is so similar to the crown. You want to say throat and root are its counterbalancing. All right. And when you're at the crown, you just want to say root. Root is a great counterbalancer for anything upper chakra. If you are overactive in your upper chakras, you are, and this has been my thing for a long time, and this is what I've been healing, and it's made such a difference over 13, 14 years of healing my root chakra. It's just changed everything for me. But if your upper chakra, like I have had a tendency always to be, and why I still wear root chakra tattoos, but it's much, much better now. If you're up there, you simply are like a helium balloon without grounding, and it can feel very anxiety producing and put you in your head and make your energy too high or spinny for others. Like if others get overwhelmed by your energy, then you definitely want to come on down and work with the root. That home and patience, slow, steady energy of the turtle, of the elephant, of the rock, the earth. Okay, so that's for that. Now let's talk about 3 ways, since I brought up the overactive throat. The last one's going to be a way that you can heal your throat chakra and balance it no matter where it is. Okay, so I'm excited to share that meditation with you. And I'm not going to do fancy music or anything. It's really just a meditation you can do at any point for yourself. It's sort of a meditative exercise that I'm going to share. And it's going to be number 3. We have 3 things. The first one is do morning journaling, where you just put everything out that you wake up with. Just go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Morning journals are all about not editing. No one's ever going to read it. It's really about you expressing you. It's really about you, and here's the key thing, listening to you. It's you listening to you. When there's an overactive throat chakra, it's often that the person experiencing it feels like they haven't been listened to. They haven't been heard. And so they're talking and talking and talking because they don't feel heard. So inner work is usually the first work. So you want to create a relationship with yourself that says, I'm listening. So by getting up in the morning, and you can do this 5 to 10 minutes, what you want to do is you are going to just free associate, just everything you're feeling, anything that comes to your mind. And if you get stuck, write about that. Like go, I'm feeling really stuck right now. Nothing's come to me. This is so stupid. I don't want to do this. Whatever it is, that's important. That's pure expression. So do morning journaling every day, 5 or 10 minutes, just get up a little bit earlier to write. Okay, and it's whatever comes up. It's all good. No one's going to look at it, and there's nothing to judge. You're even going to throw them away. You're just hearing yourself. Now, if you want to hear yourself a little deeper, read them again, as long as you can do that with compassion. If you're going to read it and judge the way you spell or the grammar or whether or not you feel you flowed freely, if you feel you're going to be a critic, don't read it. Okay, please. This is not the moment we use healing to judge self, we've lost all of the healing in the process. Can you feel that? Nobody feels good when being judged. Least of all from the self, because we see everything that we do. So this is about unlimited acceptance, compassion, true spiritual love, just accepting self as is. So we got the first one is you're going to listen to yourself through the process of flowing morning journals for 5 or 10 minutes. The second one is take a vow of silence. Now you can do this a couple ways. You can literally jump into a really big, like meditation, week-long silent meditation. Not necessarily recommended if you haven't done much meditation, okay? But that would be the extreme, and I want you to know your options. On a much lower level, you could choose that for the first hour of my day, and you can get your family or roommates in on it or something, I won't be speaking. Or in the last couple hours of my day. That's the other extreme that you can do. And be sure to involve those who are around you, that they know you're doing it if you're going to do it. And then finally, you can mix those. You can be in the middle somewhere. You can do linked little vows of silence. So maybe you're at work and you can't, so you do it at lunch hour. You go out, you pack your own lunch and you go out at lunch and you don't speak to anyone. You just silence, total silence, and see how that changes your workday. The vow of silence begins to train your body to not have to speak all the time. And speaking a lot is almost always a sign of overactive throat chakra. Sometimes not, but it's one of the highest signs. So you're literally practicing on an embodied level how to hold back your words. Doing it hopefully as a joyous exercise and with love, without judgment. If you forget and you talk, that happens. No biggie. Do it again. Start over. Have fun again with it. Okay, and finally, the third thing I'm inviting you to do is practice listening. And that's what this meditation is going to be about. First, practice with your humans. Listen to the people around you. Really listen, far more than you ever have before. And it's going to be a hard habit to change if you've tended to be a talker, to do more listening than talking. Again, not judging the talking part of yourself, loving the talking part of yourself, but simply playing a little game. How much can I listen? And here's how you keep track of it. You take your morning journal before you go to bed, and for 5 or 10 minutes, you look back at, you observe lovingly your listening for the day. How was your listening? What did you hear? What did you discover that you might not have discovered if you hadn't listened more, made a strong vow to listen more? And then there's 2 parts to this one. First, there's the human part, and wow, that is great practice for the body. And by the way, as you can imagine, the vow of silence and the listening can go very, very well together, so you could do them at the same time. And finally, there's spiritual listening, life listening. This one can be turned on so quickly that we aren't even going to have to do a very long meditation. It's very short. It's an exercise, and you can do it at any time. It's short, me introducing it to you. You can do it at any time for 5 minutes, maybe 3 even would be worth it for you. Up to 5, up to 50, up to however long you want to do it. And this is how it works. I want you to find your feet on the floor. So just make sure you're grounded and you're sitting upright. It works better. you can actually lay down if you're feeling a need to lay down. For this particular meditative exercise, we don't really need to be in the vertical position. I personally, because it's a masculine chakra and it's the highest masculine chakra, the throat, I personally like to do it sitting up and really make sure I'm more alert, more aware, because it's also the first spiritual chakra, which means they're all spiritual, but it's the first one that is more tied to the spiritual realm and the magic and miracles of that realm than of the 3D world. Okay? So close your eyes and begin to pay attention to your breath. Listen to it and feel it move. Feel how your chest moves, your belly moves. Notice the wave-like rhythm that you inhale, and after an inhale, you exhale. So it's a lot like a tide going in and out. Now I want you to focus on your ears, both your ears. It might be easier to focus on one than the other, so bring your energy and focus to both ears. And by the way, my new neighborhood, my puppy's here in the background, and I'm going to bring him to you at the very end because I love bringing him in. But you might hear him rustling in the background. Or you might hear a car drive by because I'm closer to a road right here. There's more sound in this smaller little tiny house that I have in Florida. So listen to my voice and listen to maybe some background sounds in my environment. And now what I want you to do is start to expand the distance of your listening. So first, notice the sounds in your immediate environment, including my voice. Now listen a little further out for nature or city sounds farther out in your environment. Imagine you can hear traffic or nature that's a half a mile away. Let your listening expand outward. And even as it expands outward, hear my voice and hear your breath. Steady reminders of the homecoming of right here as you expand out further and further. Imagine you can go all the way around the world and hear everything in the distance. And you may notice as you've expanded your hearing out, your entire awareness has expanded. That is throat chakra energy in its most potent, listening, and wise form. Feel it. You might even notice an expanded feeling in your ears themselves, or a tingling, little tiny bit of energy tingling. Whatever you notice is perfect for you. I'm going to be silent now for the next minute, and I want you to listen in my environment and yours, whatever comes up, as far out as you can, as well as right here to your breath and to the silence on my side. coming back. Feel your ears. Feel the sense of expansion in your energy field. Feel your incredibly expanded and wise ability to listen, to hear, even nature, and even that which is far, far, far away. By now, you may even imagine that you can hear out into the cosmos, whatever that sounds like to you. And just let your hearing sense expand outward. Remind your body that as you open your eyes again and come back to your day-to-day activities, you might want to dial it down just a bit because things might sound really loud. Explore it though to see what it is for you. That's really fun. Just explore your hearing sense now. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, and when I hit 1, I just want you to gently open your eyes and come fully back here to the present moment. 3, 2, 1. Opening your eyes gently. That was amazing. For me, the feeling is a lot of like almost an energy buzz in my ears, and a feeling that there's an ever expanding energy field around from my shoulders up. Yeah, it feels really great. Hello and welcome back for just a minute. This is Bodhi. Now he just got up from a nap, so he's maybe a little bit sleepy. This is his bear. He's wagging his tail for you. And I promised I'd bring him in, so this is him. This is the Bodhi bear. He's getting bigger. Can you tell? I think he's gained about 20% of his body weight already. Yeah, he's a little sleepy. But I did say we'd say hello, so we're saying hello. And he's teething. He's teething. So that's it for this week, and I'm sending you so much love. I'll see you on the next video.